I'm wetty.
Are we wetty?
I am wetty.
Now I sound like Elmer Fudd. Oh boy, here we go,
Ed Meese.
hunting wabbits. Yeah,
Sound like Mr. Ed Meese.
oh, not to be confused with Mr. Ed Mice.
Right.
Or Moose.
Mouses.
Yeah, Mises.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Okay.
it feels like I haven't seen you in all of like 24 hours
I know.
since we recorded last.
Do we have more to talk about? We have a lot more to talk about. I don't think
We have a lot more to talk
we do.
about.
We don't normally do this pre-show chatter, I think, for these mini-sodes, but we're
Right.
just so used to just chatting that we're just chatting.
Is that you gently telling me stop doing
Shut
that
up.
and let's get to the point?
get
Yeah.
to-
Okay. Got it. Just,
It's
I'm
been a
in.
while. It's been a while since we recorded a mini-sode, so it's all right.
It
We're
has.
getting back in the swing of things. I can't wait to hear you attempt the outro in 30 minutes. And
That's great. Now I'm going to be sweating about it for the next 30 minutes.
welcome back to How Rude Tanneritos, Fanneritos. I am Andrea Barber.
And I am Jody Sweeten.
And today we are back with another mini-sode, which is where we spend some time answering a fan question, which is so great. We love reading
I
your
love the
questions.
fan questions.
They're so good. So today's question is from Marley in Amsterdam, Holland.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
And Marley says, I read John Stamos' new book, and I wanted to know if you could share your favorite memories with him on and off the show. Aw.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to read all of John's book yet, but I was
Oh,
sitting.
it's so good. It's so
I was
good.
sitting here and sorry, there's literally some sort of creature running on my roof, and it just scared the crap out of me.
Just the raccoons.
Yeah, there was like
It's a ferret.
7 squirrels under attack up there. But I was reading through it, and I got to the part about where he talks about how he hated the first table read with me or whatever. But
Oh, yeah.
just
yeah.
him talking about just the relationship between him and Bob, and like how it was they drove each other absolutely crazy, and then finally like
Crazy.
they just got each other, and
Yeah.
they were it's taken me back to those memories, because I mean, like we've said, like I was so little, we were so little, that it's fun to hear it from the perspective of the guys that remember. And I have so many wonderful memories with John. I really
know.
do.
It's really cool reading this book concurrently while we're doing these recaps, because you can see the evolution of Jesse as a character
Yes.
from like womanizer to loving uncle,
And you see
can
it in
see it in the
John.
book too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
John has evolved as a
He-
person.
You know
too.
what? And I've always said this, and I really think that the reason that Full House was so successful was because what you were seeing on screen was like an actual reflection of what was happening kind of in our lives, like our relationships were very real. Watching John evolve from the dude that like yelled at the babies and whatever, and was just like a friend sent me some video and it was a clip. It was like, Uncle Jesse's kind of a problematic character, and I was like, yeah, like there's little times of it, but like
Yes.
in his growth and like as Jesse starts falling more in love with being a family guy.
Mhm.
And then you see it when he has his own kids and all this stuff. And just watching John go through that same evolution has been it's just so cool to watch.
It's so special. It's great, and it's such a well written book. Like it's so his voice. I didn't listen to
absolutely
the
is.
audio. I want to listen to the audio
Yes.
recording at some point. But even just reading it, I'm like, this is John's voice.
I can
so
read
him.
it and I hear it in his voice. Like
Yes.
it's like with Bob's book or
Yeah.
Candace's book, any of their, I'm like, I know exactly how you're speaking. I know what this sounds like to you. And I can
Mhm.
hear John's just sarcastic sort of, ruffling his hair. And God, it just, and I just have so much respect for him for writing this book. I know I think almost all of us have written a book.
Mhm. I think Dave might be the one standout.
The one that, right.
Get
right.
on it, Dave. But Jeff Franklin's writing.
Jeff Franklin's writing a book, but we've all written a book, and it's neat to like get to watch this evolution of everybody that we grew up with. But do you remember John's like summer barbecues before the start of the season?
Yes, the pool parties, the barbecues,
Pool parties
Yeah,
at his house on Mulholland, which randomly, when I worked way up in Malibu, when I was working in treatment, and I would drive by that house on the way to one of the properties that I worked at out there. And I would drive by, and I remember it was so weird because the first time I did it, I remember turning on like Mulholland at this weird turn. And I was like, this feels familiar. Why? And I'm like driving along and I'm like, wait. Well, I'm like, I think John lived out here. But it was like the house that he lived in like the first few seasons, like when I was little.
Yeah.
And it's not like we went out there really any other time. And we drove by and I remembered the big circular window, and it was kind of like a very 80s modern, like Miami Vice sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, there it is. And yeah. So John, to give a little background, John would have these like back to work pool parties. And I don't know if he had one the first season, like an intro one or not, or if it started like maybe going back into the second season. Probably back into the second season.
Back in the second season. Yeah.
But every year the whole cast and crew and our families,
our parents,
John's parents Loretta and Bill were there. Bill was running the barbecue, like he was grilling. Loretta had her like glass of white wine and her cigarette and was like talking to everyone and all the moms and just being like social, butterfly.
Yeah, the hostess.
And his sisters were there. Yeah. I mean, I remember those so vividly because it was like a big family reunion at the start of the summer when we would be getting ready to go back to work for another season. And it was such a like, oh, hey, we hadn't seen people. It was like coming back to school. You hadn't seen everybody for like 3 months or whatever that you were off over hiatus. And we would all come to John's house. And it was like, it was so, the thing I love and I really appreciate, it was not a Hollywood party.
Yes,
exactly. All.
At all. No. Yeah. No glam or glitz.
No, it was not. It was not a bunch of people running around being served food that like it was like we all brought stuff, potluck. John's dad was cooking and Loretta was making stuff, and like it was a family thing. There were tons of kids there. Like kids and family were always welcome. Oh man, it makes me like emotional just thinking about it, because like every year, like we'd go through and you'd see like everyone, not only just like our full house family, but like our crew family change and get bigger, and people have kids and bring them with. And it was just this awesome family reunion. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful that that John had such wonderful parents. Bill and Loretta really, really did a great job.
They were phenomenal
raising him, and they were always there and always kept him grounded. And it was funny. I was flipping through a page in the book, and he was talking about how, he'd go do these car shows, signings when he was on General Hospital or whatever, and make money, and then come home. And his dad was like, "Yeah, here's the pooper scooper. Go pick up the dog, and let's, And he was like, it was such a, nobody was like, "Oh my God, you're a big deal." And
and you still had work to do.
Yeah, and I remember that. I remember going to Duke's, their family restaurant in Cypress, because we lived right there. And I went
the Orange County crew.
Orange County, yeah. And I grew up 10-15 minutes from where John and his mom lived. We would go visit Loretta, but we went to Duke's, and John was back there flipping burgers.
Wow, that's just incredible.
Yeah, and I remember Bill coming, and it was like just such a real family event. And I just am always so grateful that like the adults in our cast really did set such great boundaries at being normal people. And there was probably stupid little petty thing. I mean, even in John's book he talks about him being a petty, and with Bob, and Bob being a whiny asshole or whatever. But there was that stuff, but it was never a place that any of us like hated going to work, and it never felt, I don't know, it just like going through John's book and remembering all those really good times and him getting on the drums at every rap party.
Every party. That hasn't changed. He still does.
I have
to this
pictures
day.
of the first rap party with him on the drums with his mullet and his glasses, which he wore glasses and nobody knew.
Oh.
And he had his glasses and his mullet, and he was on the drums, and it's a picture of Loretta hugging him while he's like mid-drum. And that was always, that was always the thing. And we'd be out there, literally Uncle Jesse playing in the band, and I would be like on the dance floor, like I'm never leaving.
Yeah, just tearing it up.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's just what a great memory to, walk through all of this.
Yeah, it's a great trip down memory lane, and I'm so glad he has this in writing for us to enjoy forever. And if anything, this book is such a love letter to Loretta. Like he's got handwritten notes
she used
from
to leave
her
him
printed
hand
throughout
notes. I know.
Oh, it's just so touching. The love he had he still has love for her. It's always in his heart. It's so sweet how he talks about Loretta and Bill too, but mostly Loretta.
They were his rocks. They really were, and his and Elena and Janine, and like his extended family and nieces and nephews and stuff. Like he's just got such a great, solid family, and we've all been so wonderfully welcomed into that family too. Like it really is just. It's kind of always been a testament to the Stamos tradition of just how he included everyone and was always, John would get wrapped up in himself, but he always there was always that incredibly thoughtful side that you would course correct, and he'd be like, oh, that, what a weird, normal yet not normal childhood experience,
Well, he talks in the book about how he was in those younger years. He's just in his head too much, and I don't know if I'd call it an ego. I mean, he might call it an ego that he had at age 24, 25. Just in his own head.
He was
his own
Blackie on General Hospital. Women were throwing themselves at him. It was the
at
80s and the height of Teen Beat magazine and stuff. Oh yeah, he was enjoying it.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. But you can see him struggling with those two sides of himself, that ego macho, I'm, the coolest, most handsome guy on the planet versus this family guy. Like he really has always been a family guy with love for the people around him. And you're right. The inclusivity of just saying, hey, bring your mom, bring your brothers, bring whoever, and let's all just be one big happy family. It didn't feel like Hollywood at all.
No,
those parties.
It
was not a Hollywood scene. At all.
I just I'm literally picturing it right now, and it was like a family barbecue. Little kids running around, Ashley, Mary, Kate in the pool. And the wonderful thing is we have, and oh God, it makes me cry. We have hours and hours and hours of footage of all of it, because John not only he is a meticulous keeper of things, but his biggest thing is that he takes photographs and videos of everything. And so we have the entire Full House experience basically documented, and all of these, it's John, hey, wave in the pool. Hi,
it's very casual, just a handheld camera.
Yeah, and it's just like your uncle going around at the barbecue being like, hey, wave to the camera, and those silly home movies that you have, and I can picture them in my head. I'll never forget, I think one time Loretta was smoking by the pool, and I turned around and got out and got burned.
Oh no.
Right, she felt so bad.
Ash.
I'm so sorry. I was like, it's okay. But it was, oh my God. But it was just so casual and so, I loved it. I loved it very, very much. And I'm grateful for that.
And we'll be right back.
And then I remember like getting older, and when we would all get together and we'd go to Taverna Tony's up in Malibu.
Yep. Greek food, of course.
Greek food, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we'd go for Greek food. And of course, he knew Tony of Taverna, you know, and it's like a staple place in Malibu, right?
They always had like a section, a corner in the back.
We would have a corner, and how many fun and wonderful dinners and get-togethers did we have there with all of us?
Just hours-long dinners, and they just kept. It was like family style eating. They just kept bringing dishes
just
out.
That we were like, there's
whatever.
more food, right? And but it would be like we'd be there for 3 hours, and it would, you know, Bob's kids would be there, and you know, various partners and boyfriends and girlfriends, and you know, it was just, those were some like magical moments that I'm very, very grateful for.
Let's do a reunion trip to Taverna Tony's, because I haven't been in decades.
Yeah, well,
is it still there?
Yeah, I think Taverna Tony's is still there.
Okay,
I think. Go. But we should do it. We'll do a reunion dinner there. Or I thought you were going to say we should do like a reunion trip to Greece, and I was like, I absolutely think this is a great idea, and I think John, if you're listening, you should plan that. So
yes, John can lead the. He'll be the tour leader with the little flag.
He'll be the tour leader. He can dress up as Stavros. It'll be great. We can all play the Greek twin versions of ourselves. And dress up in weird costumes and walk around, right, and be like, "No, I'm not Stephanie," and be like, and just give ourselves Greek names, and that's it. And we just go totally incognito because no one will ever guess. Because that
won't look awkward at all.
No, God, no. And you know what? It won't be the most awkward thing we've ever done out publicly in a group. So
no. That's just another Tuesday for us.
That's just a Tuesday, yeah.
That's so great.
You know what else I noticed about John's book is the if you notice the font is very Disney.
It's very well, and his handwriting is very Disney-like too.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know if this was a computer font or if this was John writing
that too.
The chapter headings.
I was doing some like handwriting comparisons,
right? We had handwriting
analysis. in my spare time. But he wrote me a lovely message in the cover of the book. But then I was like comparing it to that font.
It's definitely a tribute to Disney. And
for sure,
Disney infatuation. Does he still have? Yeah, he still has the Dumbo. Remember, he had like a big Dumbo. The actual Dumbo from Disneyland.
There's a picture of all of us. There's a picture of us together at John's house around the Dumbo, the weekend of Bob's service, with Ashley and Mary Kate and all of us, and like kind of are gathered around the Dumbo.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got the Dumbo. He's got the Snow White
He's
car.
got the D too, right? The D. The D from
the Disneyland D.
Disneyland D from the front.
Weird. Yeah, he's. Sorry,
didn't mean to make that weird.
Well, if there's somebody that's going to do it, it's me. But yeah, he's got the Disney. I mean, he's just again an amazing collector of things. Like really cool memorabilia and stuff that's important to him. I wish I had like the wherewithal to document my life and organize it the way he does.
He's got to put all of this footage together as either a documentary or if he doesn't want to release it publicly, just do it for us.
You know what? I think probably someone's done it.
Oh,
for
you think
him.
So?
I would think maybe. I could be wrong.
Let's have
could be wrong.
John needs to host a screening for us.
I'm going to ask him, John, are you seriously organizing your own, or are you outsourcing this?
Well, whoever does it.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever does it. Like, hey, can we get a family rate? Can I?
What's the family rate?
Deal with my stuff. Which, by the way, for the minisode, for the prop minisode coming up, I've got some fun stuff too. So.
Oh, good. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to read the rest of John's book because I know his life from like 24 and on, but I also there's a lot of big pieces I don't know. Oh my God, did I ever tell you the story about how John and Rebecca Romaine came to my my high school graduation party?
No, they did. Oh,
all the way down to Orange County. Now I had a high school graduation party in my backyard. Okay, so, like we didn't live in like some ridiculous, it was like a normal sized backyard.
Yep.
But I invited a bunch of friends. I had a DJ who was actually one of John's best friends growing up, Al Nasser, who I have remained close friends with Al through John for decades. Anyway, Al was DJing, and we invited. I know you were invited. I don't know if you made it down
trying to
or at
picture
some
if
point.
I was there.
I think
I had to have been there. Yeah,
everybody some people kind of came and stopped by. But anyway, John and Rebecca came, and they stayed.
They did.
Late. They were there dancing with all of my friends. Like, my friends were dancing with Rebecca and losing their mind.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask. Were they just
but they're like,
they
were just like, this is the best party I've ever been to. And I was like, I don't even know what's happening. I don't, and John probably wouldn't mind me saying this. I don't know if he was exactly sober. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not. But they were having a great time, as were all of my friends who were dancing in my backyard until 12:30. And we had like somebody at the front door kind of checking off lists, but our back door had like an open to the street. We had kids that were like hearing about who was at the thing and like coming to the house. I was like, this is ridiculous.
It was going viral around the neighborhood.
Yeah,
yep.
like
in
the days before it was, easy to make that stuff happen. But yeah, John and Rebecca came and danced till like midnight or 12:30 with me and my friends for my high school graduation party.
With all 17-year-olds.
Yeah, it was. It was great. It was great.
So see, he's down to earth.
I'm pretty sure
like
all my
that.
friends were probably totally hammered too. So it was, it was a great night. Yeah.
No judgment. No judgment.
It was right. It was, yeah. But I do remember that. And that was, but the fact that he came and showed up for me.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like, that meant the world to me. That was, and like, when you guys all would come down for like my 13th birthday parties and stuff, and like it just, he's always and he's always shown up for me. He showed up at one point and gave me an award having to do with being in recovery, and just what he said was really, really touching and meaningful, and it makes you think about how much we've all grown through together.
He's been amazing to me since my mom died, because he can relate, because he was devastated when Loretta passed. And actually, I pulled up a text that he sent me a few months after my mom died. I want to read it. I've never shared it with anyone. But it meant so much to me that I screenshotted it because I'm like, I want to keep this forever. He doesn't know that I screenshotted it. But so he sent this.
Well, he does now.
Yeah, well, he does. If he's listening, hi, John. So he sent this on April 8th, 2021. So that's like 4 months after my mom passed. And he said, "Hi, was just thinking about you. Billy has been on this kick lately, asking everyone, when's your birthday? When's your birthday? He asks every person he sees and every animal he sees. And it reminds me of another beautiful soul who used to ask that question all the time. Your mom. I'm sure you're still grieving quite heavily and probably will be for a long time. Funny enough, today was my mom's birthday. Thank God our parents live in our kids' hearts and ours as well. Love you, Andrea. Hope you're okay." Like, and he just sent this out of the blue. It's not like we were already having a conversation. It's time stamped at like 11:56 p.m. So he was probably just up awake in his office, just thinking about Loretta.
He was probably like,
family.
"It's my mom's birthday. When's your birthday?
When's your birthday?" Sherry Barber, and that was just such a generous, loving thing to just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you and thinking about your mom." And he does this. He does this all the time.
Yeah, really
just randomly out of the blue, just will text and be like, and say these beautiful, wonderful, loving words. And it's so special. I'm going to save this forever.
Yeah. Oh, when's your birthday? What's your birthday?
birthday?
Well, we should explain that. Sherry Barber had, she would ask people's birthday because we had a Polaroid wall at Full House that was every cast, crew, top to bottom, like grips, writers, PAs, craft service, hair, makeup, cast, wardrobe, every camera department, everything. And it had their name, what they did, like what department they worked in, and what their job was, and their birthday. So like you could just walk up to the wall and be like, look around and be like, oh, today's so-and-so's birthday, or just you'd be like, I know, I talk to them all the time. What exactly do they do? Oh, they're in art department or they're, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was always Sherry Barber's thing. When's your birthday?
When's your birthday? Yep. She would go around and just ask everyone like she was taking roll call.
Take your picture. Let me, when's your birthday?
With the Polaroid.
Yep.
With the Sherry Barber's Polaroid. Yeah.
But yeah. And, I remember during Fuller, do you remember when John got those big screens?
Oh,
was it the last season?
Backstage,
and he put them up, and we all got to send photos to a full. It was like a big digital,
like a big digital
screen,
flat screen
like
TV.
a big digital. Yeah, it was a digital flat screen TV, but it was like for photos and for art and stuff. He had one in a couple in his house too, but he had us all be able to like submit pictures to that. I mean, it took forever on the stage Wi-Fi, but we were doing it, and it was so fun. And I remember him saying like, yeah, it's like the Polaroid wall. Like we have to have pictures of everybody, and it was that was his
Polaroid
gift to us was that that really cool like just constant rotating pictures of all of the cast and crew and anything that we'd been through, and it was really neat.
Yeah.
He's always been very thoughtful and memorable.
Yeah, and that would become like the gathering, the watering hole for the cast and crew. We just gather there and watch it.
Be like, oh my God,
slideshow of pictures,
right.
And then it would spark a mememory, and we would all talk about it.
And it was because it was always something, somebody had maybe added something new, or it was, playing in a different order or whatever. And yeah.
Oh, such good. I know. I thought this would be more like a roast, like we would be roasting John. But no, it's turned into this like just lovely, feel good, warm fuzzies memories about what a wonderful person he is. I feel like we should throw in a few.
I know.
Bob is like, real.
Bob's like, don't leave it at that. Don't. No. He's call him Mud. Call him Mud.
Call him Mud. Yes, Mud is his nickname.
Because of the mud that he would put in his hair.
The product. Yeah, I don't know who gave him that name. Was that
Bob or Dave?
Or,
I think Dave
one of them
started calling him Mud. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I you got to think of something to roast him with. But it was just like
we could talk about his chicken legs. He has very skinny legs.
He's got very skinny legs.
Yep.
And I remember there was a gag reel thing that they did something like came around in like boxer shorts or something like at some weird taping moment when it was just the three guys. And like John's legs, he has little bird legs.
Bird legs, yep.
You
don't see them often in Full House or Fuller House because he would always wear pants.
Jesse wasn't exactly like a shorts wearing kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like how are you going to get on a motorcycle in shorts?
This is a good point.
But that feels very
the chafing. Ooh.
Yeah, ooh, bad.
No.
I mean, can you imagine if you went down? Yeah, no. And a leather vest with shorts just doesn't have the same feel. You know what I mean? Can't have your wallet chain be longer than your pants.
Yes, or the mullet.
So,
the mullet's
right,
longer
or
than
your mullet. Right, yeah.
Pants.
I mean, yeah. Any longer, and he'd have to like clip the mullet up when he was on the motorcycle. Anyway, I love you, John. There, I'm done.
Yes.
Bob's proud now. He feels better. I've evened it out a little bit. We've talked about you.
Yep.
Cheers to John, and
to John.
Go and check out his new book. It's called John Stamos, If You Would Have Told Me, a memoir, and it is a really wonderful, beautifully written book, and I'm just so proud of Uncle Jay.
Yep.
And I'm still so glad that he thought I was really, really funny at that table read, because I can always say that I was funnier than him.
Oh, yeah. More than once. And I'm so glad he didn't get you fired from the pilot, which he talks about in the book too. So I'm glad that it was close, but
it was
he did
close.
not succeed. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, I was just too damn funny.
You were.
Anyway. Oh, John, we love you.
Love you, John.
Love you. Yeah, so make sure you are following at How Rude Podcast. You can send us messages on there, DM us on there on Instagram, or you can email us at howrudepodcast@gmail.com. And we will see you next time on How Rude, Tanneritos.
Oh, the outro. Oh,
no, that's it. Here's our outtake. I forgot the outro.
You forgot
Not only did I, here's how bad I screwed it up this time. I forgot it. Was like, bye, we're done with the show.
When you're gonna screw up, just skip right over it. You know, that's a good motto.
Like it's right. It's sort of like not screwing up by omission, because if I just don't do it, I can't mess it up. But here we go.
Okay,
the house is full. No,
you can do it. Concentrate. Watch your diction.
I know, but I don't know why. Like, it's when I have to think about it like this, I'm just under such pressure. That the world is small, but the house is full.
See, you did it. You did
Chef's
it.
kiss.
Chef's kiss. Good job, sweetie.